All right, people. We are back. Today's fun topic is for you new people, you new riders, you guys that still are afraid to get on the freeway and stuff like that. So, I guess I'll title this video Things I Do Without Realizing It as a Very Experienced Rider. And one of those things is hypervigilance, which everyone says it all the time. You gotta pay so much attention, so much attention. But there's a lot of things that are second nature to me, as having ridden for 20 years plus, and being a former pro racer, that do not occur to other people. So one of those things is, I guess we'll just start random as hell, okay? I don't get rid of my mirrors, all right? My bike's decked out, custom carbon fiber everywhere. I poured it and polished it, built my engine myself, all kinds of crazy mods. And I refuse to get rid of my mirrors. People are like, oh, well, turn your head, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, turn your head and have a mirror. So don't get rid of your mirrors. Another big thing right here, like this light, coming up to this light as an example, you know, I'm not going to come barreling in, and I'm purposely going to stay in the middle. So if a car comes behind me, I'm not in his path to get sandwiched. You know, people say that's why you white line, so you're not in the path of a car. And I make sure to look at people. So like, you don't see my eyes right now, but I'm looking at the mirror, looking at the driver when I do anything. When I stop, when I take off, if I'm pulling out of a turn, you name it. I'll be checking to make sure that the driver closest to me is paying attention, that they see me, which is hard not to once I'm close to you because this bike is so loud. But you still have to keep a conscientious awareness of these other drivers. Another thing is like lane placement. I'm never in the middle of the lane like this. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but you can see where it's like less worn out here, and then on the side where the wheels of the cars touch, it's more worn. That actually leaves a little bit of rubber behind, like on a racetrack, you know, where cars take a hard turn over and over, and they leave rubber residue on the road. A similar thing happens with these. There's a little bit of rubber that's left, so they're a little more tacky. It's just a little more grip, and it's where the least likely amount of debris is going to be on the road. And another thing that I like to do, you know, I'm not going to cruise on the shoulder, because that's where you end up getting close to a lot of debris once again. You know, look at all that stuff. I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but we're in Paris right now. I'm leaving Paris, heading back up to my place in Corona. And there's a lot of crap on that shoulder. A lot. And since there's no cars, and mind you, this is an ever-changing thing. It's not like, oh, this is the one thing I do and I do it every time. You have to base what we would call your best path of exit off of every situation you're in. Like this guy, I'm making sure he's going to go in the middle lane. But I'm in a lane right now where I'm kind of on the middle of the road, but it gives me the most options for avoidance. So if there's something in the road I notice last minute, I can go left, I can go right. I have a lot of room to evade things. If somebody pulls in front of me from either side, left or right, I got room to react. So great situation. I'm going to watch the people behind me. Even though I'm in the middle of the road, I'm going to watch. And I'm going to pump my brakes a bit, because my rear light, it strobes. When I hit the brake, the red light flashes really fast in a strobe pattern, and I'll watch and make sure that none of these people are drifting or doing a last minute lane change and take me out, because that happens all the time to riders, all the time. So I'm using what I can, and I'm visually watching to make sure that I'm good. I'm not trusting anyone behind me, because these drivers are nuts. And then I pull off and I make sure that I'm out of their way and I got safety distance from them. That's another thing. Don't linger around cars. You know, look, there's cars behind me and stuff. but I'm not anywhere near them. I'm going to purposely stay ahead in this nice, open, safe area. Because if you're around cars, every car that is close to you is a variable. So the more variables there are, the hell? What the heck? What? Wow. What the? What? Did I get a call? Ah. I don't know what the heck that was. This song sucks. Anyway, as I was saying, the more variables that you surround yourself with, the more things can go wrong. Which is a huge reason why riding on the freeway is actually safer than riding on the street. You know, you think about it, you're on these non-freeway roads, residential roads, side roads, all that stuff, streets, and you're around cars. There's cars everywhere. There's cars going the opposite direction. There's cars turning in front of you. There's cars changing lanes for last minute before a light. There's stop and go. There's all these things, right? You're basically around cars, next to them, in front of them, behind them, way more than you should be. So by just proxy, being on the streets is a lot more dangerous than being on the freeway. Because the freeway, everyone's going the same speed, and they're all going the same direction, you know, generally. But it's a lot less things for them to do. There's no stoplights on the freeway. There's no turn lanes and all that stuff. Like, everything is it's made to flow. It's made to flow in a direction efficiently. Well, people aren't efficient, but if they didn't drive like morons, it would be very efficient. But you want to avoid cars all you can. You know, I went through those cars, but now they're all behind me. Once again, I'm back in a safety box. I'm away from everyone. My goal, always instinctually, without even realizing it, when riding, is to just get the hell away from cars. It doesn't matter what the circumstances, I get away from cars. And I do it without even thinking about it anymore. Another big thing, I guess, we'll go into, like, I purposely use the noise of the bike, you know, and do that decel, that popping and everything you hear. That's turning heads, not only because I'm awesome, but because these cars here in the mirror, you know, I'm looking at these people and they hear all that noise and they don't just tune me out. So I purposely ride the decel to make sure I make some noise coming up to the intersection. Another big thing is, like, I don't know, little things, I guess. It's so hard to think of these things because I do them all so second nature after riding for so long. But, like, gosh, I don't know, throttle placement, right? I'm not like this on the throttle. You know, my wrist isn't like this. My wrist is out. My angle is out. And when I turn the throttle, I have more room in the wrist to do it like this versus turning my arm. Because that's a lot more fatigue and you're able to hold your body position better. So make sure that when you're riding, you're not death gripping the throttle head on, that you're off to an angle comfortably. You know, there's a natural angle. Like, you'll watch my wrist and that's barely turning a lot of the times. I'm sure depending on my angle you don't see it as much, but when I get on the freeway you probably will. Situations like this, I could white line it up there, but I don't need to. I guess that's another good one. You know, pick and choose where you're going to take a shortcut. A lot of people kind of fly into a white line situation and it ends up getting them, you know, bonked or cut off or something. A few moments of patience is going to save you a lifetime of headache. So, you know, don't, just because you can, don't split in every situation. There's plenty of reasons as you'll learn as you ride more. Oh gosh, what do we got going on here? What is this? Let's see what we got up here. Okay. I know everyone stopped. Huh. Oh, well. Yeah. Whatever is going on with that car, we want to get away from it. Because people are going to change lanes. They're going to maneuver around them, and you risk being what they maneuvered into. So another riding tip, might be hard to hear me at this point. I'm going to constantly advance. You see right here, I'm never going to ride next to this car. How I am now, I'll never do it. This is a horrible place to be. But if she zones out and swerves into me, or something's in the road and she swerves to miss it, I'm what she's going to hit. So I'm going to constantly be in a state where I'm advancing. I'm not saying you got to fly by cars, but you have to be constantly passing. Whether at a steady pace or not is up to you, how much fun you want to have. But you need to constantly be advancing. And once again, I put myself in a position where I'm not around anyone. Everyone's back there. There's just one straggler, that's okay. I'm passing them, and I'm moving on to my own area where I have less variables to worry about. Now, being that we're on the freeway, I can just go at my leisure at this point. There's the only thing that I have to worry about, and this is another thing, hypervigilance. You have to be looking at not just what's like right here in this area, this box in front of you, but you got to constantly check way up there. If you were to watch my eyes as I was riding and see where they were looking, you would see my eyes scan from here up to here, to there, to here, to around here. I'm constantly looking in a triangle, kind of. I'm looking down here, I'm looking up there. And then after I know, I just start looking way up here. Because there's so many times that this has happened to me where I'm cruising and I'm like going about my way and I get complacent and there's something in the road. Whether it's a towel or a freaking, one time there was an entire shed. There's so much crap that falls off of people's vehicles. Their trucks, moving stuff, mattresses, ladders, you name it. Especially on busy freeways like here in Southern California, God, there is so much stuff that falls off of people's trucks. And you gotta be looking way ahead, because if you're smart, you'll see the traffic pattern change way ahead of you. You'll see people swerving or stopping, you'll see all the red lights come on as they hit their brakes. And instead of hitting that stuff last minute and like, trying to avoid it, you already know it's ahead of time and you can go way around it and avoid the congestion. So make sure that you're not just looking right here or just at the car in front of you, but that you're also looking way up. You're scanning, so it's stuff in the road right there. You're scanning, you're looking up, you'll check, you'll look up, and eventually it'll become just natural habit. For me personally, I'm always looking at the furthest corner of what I can visually see. So like I can see all the way up to that horizon. Once I've already know that, once it's obvious that there's nothing in front of me, that's where my eyes are fixed. I'm not looking at the cars unless they start doing weird shit. I'm looking way the fuck ahead, because that's your next point. Like once I hit this turn, and now another horizon opens up, I'm gonna look at that horizon. I'm watching around, I'm looking at the very far corner I can see. Now I can see all the way through this chicane. I'm scanning all the way up it, and I'm looking all the way to the end now. So make sure you get in the habit of scanning ahead. Constantly scan ahead. Rider posture, stuff like that. I'm always, I don't know, here, let me see how good I can see it. I'm always riding on the ball of my foot. Like, if this is the peg, I'm not like this, I'm not like this on it. The ball of my foot is on the peg. Because that leaves you in a ready position, ready to maneuver the bike if you need to. Once again, this throttle hand placement, I cannot stress how much riding fatigue that saves you. Lane splitting. I'm watching these guys. I'm not sitting there eyeing them where it throws off my path, but I'm aware of what their patterns are like. Are they wobbling while turning? Are they drifting a lot? If they are, I'm not going to split. I'll wait. Monitor traffic patterns. You have to develop a kind of what I like to call the rider intuition or the spidey sense, where you get good at telling, you can read people's minds while they're driving, and you can tell how much they're paying attention just by how smooth they're staying in the lane. You can tell if they're about to turn before they even put the turn signal on, because unconsciously a lot of drivers, they start to slowly drift a little in the direction that they're going to turn. There they are, so driving. So once again, we're just rolling along, casual pace. I'm not a rocket ship right now. I'm not trying to set a new lap record right now. I'm casually commuting right now from one location to another. And I got a nice, steady, consistent pace. I'm not slowing down a ton. I'm not speeding up a ton. I'm going casual. This is my casual. So this is a slow casual because it's kind of cold and it's windy. You can't really see it, but it's actually pretty windy right now. I guess that's another thing. Your weather conditions, if it's windy, don't push it too much, because you'd be amazed at how hard that wind can blow you out of nowhere. If you're going fast and you end up passing a car and that wind blows too hard, it could blow you right into that car and take you out. So you're at your limits. Obviously your bike weight, your weight, all those factors play a role in what your speed capacity can be during conditions. Be aware that, as a new rider, you really don't realize how big of a difference temperature makes. When it's cold and the road is cold, your tires suck. You do not get the grip that you think you get. Versus when the road's hot and it's warm out, your tires are nice and tacky. It is a night and day difference, literally and figuratively. So you need to be really aware of that. Especially if you're someone that has bad road conditions, where the road is just crap. Do not try to hot dog it when it's cold out. Your tires will slip. There's been times where I go to wheelie just before right when a bike's on and I take off, and I'll go to wheelie, and I'll bring the front end up, and the bike will drop it because the traction control will feel the back wheel slip. And it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm already going 60 miles an hour. 60 freaking miles an hour. And the back wheel slips when I gut it. That's how slick. And I have Dunlop, Michelin Power 6s on right now. Really good tires with really good grip. And they literally will slip at 60 miles an hour if I go too hard on the throttle when they're not warmed up. That's how much of a difference there is. It's insane. While you're riding too, periodically check behind you. Another reason you keep those mirrors. What if you see lights roll up on you real fast? Some guys racing in cars that don't see you. If you have mirrors, if you keep your mirrors on, you're going to be able to see those lights roll up on you real fast and have a chance to notice it and get the hell out of the way, or speed up, depending on how much power you have at your disposal. But constantly do a little check behind you every now and then. Once again, my mind is so trained off of peripheral vision now that if any light shows up unnaturally in my mirror, I'm noticing it immediately. But sometimes in the beginning, you gotta, just a quick little head check in the mirror. It's not gonna kill you. It's only gonna serve you more safety and keep your ass covered. So just do a quick little spot check. Coming up into these sections right now, we're hitting civilization. So we're leaving the desert area. I'm slowing down a bit. I dropped 10 miles an hour. Oh, another biker. Oh, you got a little Sportster. But yeah, I'm slowing down. I'm still advancing, but I'm slowing down proportionate to the density of traffic. I'm not just gonna barrel through everyone. It's getting darker. The sun's going down, as you can see right now. Sun already set. We're getting darker, low light conditions. A lot of these drivers, you got to be conscientious of them too. A lot of these drivers, their visibility is going down. A lot of people have bad night vision, man, and they're not paying attention. You see how tinted that car's windows were? Like, dude, he's not gonna see me as well as you think he would. That's partly why I ride with my high beams on. The high beams project light forward, whereas your regular beams project it downward. So when you're behind or beside people, you're coming up on cars, your headlights are going to be shining into their mirror. And people can get pissy about it. Oh God, that lane sucks. God, it's so bad. That's okay. Here's a good one right here. When lanes are like this, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you can hear it in my voice, how much it's shaking me. Literally, this lane goes from to that's an unsafe condition. I'm not going to ride in that lane. Why? Because it's the fast lane? I don't care. If that goes bad enough, it'll eventually give you speed wobbles. Eventually your wheel will start fucking wiggling, and you'll lose control if you're going too fast. I'll wait till that lane smooths out, which is right about here. Yeah, much better. But once again, that pocket I was just in, I'm not going to linger there. I'm going to get the fuck out of it because it's not safe. See this guy's indicator? It just told him I'm coming up. Now we'll get through these people and I'll get back into a safety zone. You don't have to be in the fast lane all the time. Sometimes the safest lane's the far right. If there's no cars in it, like, once again, this is dynamic. If you don't know what dynamic means, it means it's ever changing. It's always changing. You have to be a dynamic rider. Your safety policies, your safety mindset has to be dynamic. This guy's turning. These people are kind of clusterfucking. I'm not going to barrel through. I'm going to wait till there was a gap like that, and then I'm going to push. And now I'm advancing. I'm advancing and I'm getting away from everyone. I'm getting into where I'm safe. These is a constant habit. I'm constantly trying to get around and away without pushing people, without coming up too fast on them. And don't get me wrong, I love to hot dog. I love to look at some of my reels. I love to do crazy shit. I love to wheelie and everything. But there's a smart way to be done. There's a safe way to take a risk. And most of y'all are ready to have that conversation. See that tire on the road? That's why we're over here. A lot of that debris is going to end up on that side. But I purposely am staying here. We have more room and more escape routes if I need them. Once again, we're advancing. We're passing all these people. They're getting the hell away. Watching him, I didn't like it, so I scooted over. Give him more room. When possible, give cars more room. What's it going to cost you, except avoiding a potential disaster? See, pockets like this, I'm ready for that car to move over. But they're actually paying attention. They saw me. But I'm ready. I know, I'm predicting. Hey, that car, yep, see? That's why I didn't hot dog it through these lanes. Because people, once we start congesting, once we start slowing down, and cars cluster up, everyone starts doing pointless lane changes, trying to get into the next lane for no good reason. But you gotta start paying attention. See this guy drifting? Now, I don't know if it was because of me, or he's just not paying attention. But I'm gonna get around him as fast as possible and get away from him. Now I'm getting back to a zone where I am constantly placing myself where there are less cars. This is a merge, I got space. I can see the pattern up here, I got tons of space. So I'm gonna take this route. If I can avoid lane splitting, why wouldn't I? Ooh, nice. We got a little Need for Speed Miata. Oh yeah, look at that body kit. Oh yeah. The flippies. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, now there's a big cluster, a lot of people turning at once. I'm really close to my exit. So, what's the point of me hot dogging through everyone right now? I'll give it a second. I'll look up there. I'll make sure when this happens, I'll make sure there's no cops. Because sometimes people are clustering and slowing down, like you see that huge break up there. Sometimes it's because of a cop. And then I'm like, okay, well, I don't see any piggy. I think we're clear. Then I'll go. I don't always just barrel into the middle lane or the white line and lane split just because I can. Once again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Slowing down, right? This is my exit. We're gonna do a nice slow down, going through some windy shit. So what I'm gonna do when I get to my spot, where I'm gonna start slowing down, I'm not gonna brake. I'm gonna clutch in, drop 2 gears, riding the throttle a bit, rev matching, letting the natural engine brake slow me down. I'm weaving, I'm not going in a super high gear to be lower. When I'm braking front and back even. I'm not all on the front brake. But 90% of the time I hit my back brake first. And I do what's called trail braking. As a pro racer, this is a very common technique. So I'm already on the back brake right now. And then I'm easing into the front brake and it's dragging me through the turn, keeping me nice and stable, very stable. Oh, we got a cruiser, brother. Man, that's a tall ass cruiser. I don't want to pass him in the same lane, so. Don't judge me right now, people, because this is light, it's under construction. Don't worry, I'm not going to hit you, Grandma. But this light is terrible. It's under construction, so everyone stops at it, but it stays red forever. Know that I am the one. And once again, I'm on that clutch. And I'm on that clutch gradually. I'm not just right away. I'm gently pulling it in, transitioning through engine brake to physical brake. I'll elaborate more on this in another video. Yeah, watch out. You gotta look at these little kiddos. All right. Oh yeah. Told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Ooh. Alright. So I made it back home. But what I'm talking about, the brake visually for you people, is I'm hitting the back brake, I'm easing into the back brake, and then I'm easing into the front brake, but it's back and front. Because the back brake's gonna, and I'm not talking about mashing on it, you're easing on it. Because once you load the back brake, you start making the bike more rigid, and you make your suspension more rigid. And because when you front brake, you're going to preload the front, right? When you hit the front brake, force goes down, and it makes your tendency to turn the wheel a little higher, which you can use to your advantage. But like I said, I'm going to make a whole video about braking alone, because that's a science in itself. And there's a lot that goes into that habit that I don't realize I'm doing, but is an extremely advanced technique that all new riders should start practicing right away. But if you have any questions, comments, and I know I missed a lot of stuff, so I'm going to try to remember more, because I really want to be able to like disseminate my experience and knowledge, which is, like I said, it's hard to do. You don't realize you're doing this stuff after you've been riding for so long. It just comes second nature.